Welcome to the Easton.Online podcast. I'm your host, Eliot Marshall. And what this podcast is here to do, it's here to help you gain strategies and tactics and tools that are going to help you grow in your martial arts business. If you have a martial arts school, a gym, this is one of my passions, is how we spread the message of how to really grow culture and business and some ways that we do it the best with our people, with our staff, with our clients. So I hope you enjoy. Give a listen. Welcome to Easton.Online. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I was a little late today. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You know, little PT before ADCC. So, yeah. And then he could squeeze me in, so I had to get it done. So, sorry, guys.
That's okay. You got to get the machine right before your big day.
There ain't no getting this machine right, bro. So, man, you have the only odd experience of not every belt with us, not white to black with us.
That's correct. I was a blue belt when I came to you guys, and I was deep in the land of the eternal blue belt.
Really? How long were you a blue belt?
I was a blue belt for almost 6 years.
How long were you a blue belt before you came to us?
About 4 years, because I think it was about a year and a half with you guys before you promoted me.
So I was a dick about that.
No, I mean, I think anytime someone comes in from the outside, you want to keep an eye on them.
You wait.
Yeah, always. I say 2 year minimum.
2 year minimum.
Yeah. So you guys I think you moved me along a little bit quicker.
Yeah, maybe I just forgot. By the way, how's the coffee?
It's delicious. Thank you very much.
It's delicious. I was late on the coffee too. God damn it, right?
I mean, it's here. That's really all that matters.
It's here. But yeah. So blue belt when you came in. And then what was that like for you? Because like deep into blue belt, and then moving to a new school. Why did you move? Why'd you leave New York, by the way? You were in New York, right?
I was in New York for 5 years. I think my wife and I had gotten, or she was my girlfriend, fiance when we left. I think we had gotten everything out of that experience that we were looking to. I think New York's a really fun place if you are what I like to call pajama rich, or so young that abject poverty is like not that big of a deal.
What's pajama rich?
Like you're so rich that you don't even have to put clothes on in the morning and no one cares, right? You're so wealthy that getting to a lovely place out of the city really is just no impediment to you whatsoever. New York is a great place. But if you're stuck there, which most people are, like physically getting yourself out of the city is very difficult and expensive, you know? And I think over time it just wears on you. We wanted to be back close to family.
Because her family's here too?
Yes. We wanted to purchase a home, and really none of those things were going to happen while we were still in New York.
I mean, you didn't want to spend $10 million on a 2-bedroom, 500 square foot apartment.
Correct.
Okay. Even though I love New York.
It's a fun place to visit.
Yes, it's a fun place to visit.
It's a great place to visit.
Yeah, I couldn't live there.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. I don't know why I couldn't live there, but I couldn't live there. I don't like it's too it makes me go to my dark place.
We're just bombarded by energy all the time.
All the time.
No matter where you are, there's like 1,000 people within 100 feet of you.
Even when you're sleeping. Yeah. Right? Like everything. There's no time where it's peace and quiet.
Correct.
You never hear crickets.
And all you do is work and drink. There's really not much else to do there.
You could train.
Yeah.
You could train.
You could train.
So you got your blue belt. Who'd you got? You got your blue belt from Chim Chim?
No, I was already a blue belt when I trained there. I got my blue belt from a guy named Carmine Zaki.
I don't know Carmine.
Yeah, he got his black belt from a guy named Marcelo Mello.
I know Marcelo Mello.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a blue belt at another school.
Mm-hmm.
So
multiple schools.
So you got your blue belt.
Yeah.
And then from Carmine Zaki.
Correct.
Who was where?
He's just kind of had his own thing going on. Like Carmine was
in New York?
Yeah, just like a roving pirate ship.
So he's like, hey guys, the YMCA today at 4?
Exactly.
Fuck
right.
Yeah.
And if you paid Carmine, you were just allowed to go whoever was allowing Carmine to teach at that particular time.
Okay.
You know, and so we kind of just followed him around. And I wanted to get promoted. It wasn't it's a horrible ego problem as a blue belt. You know, I thought I was much better than I was. I thought I should be getting moved along more quickly. And the problem resided with anyone that wasn't me.
Well, that's everyone's problem. So So you get your blue belt from Carmine.
Correct.
And then you leave Carmine.
Correct.
Because
I wanted to be promoted and I didn't get promoted.
you want to be promoted to purple belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were with Carmine as a blue belt for how long?
I think it's probably about a year.
So you're a year with Carmine, and
Yeah.
then you go see Chim Chim.
Correct. Trained with Justin up in the Bronx for a little bit. Great school, just the vibe wasn't for me.
Right.
Trained a little bit with Justin Griffiths over at Clockwork. And then the last year.
God, he was around the scene when I was around the scene.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And then the last year that I was there, I was doing like noon classes at Marcelo Garcia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't complain about that.
No.
No, there's no complaining about
No,
Marcelo.
it was a great school.
Yeah, Marcelo's the man.
Yeah.
Did you watch I started watching his thing on Flow Grappling.
It was very long.
It was very long. Yeah, it's like 2 hours long.
Yeah, I got a little intimidated by the timestamp on the bottom of the video.
So that used to happen to me with Jeff Suskin. Suskin used to send me videos all the time. Like, hey, watch this. And then I'd click on it. And like my kids were real young. Like Kanan was like 4 and Simon's 1. So it was like 3-4 years ago that this was. And I'm like, no. And they're like, did you watch this? I was like, no, dude, that said an hour. I don't have an hour on YouTube. Like ever, So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I started watching it. It was good. The first 15 minutes was good.
Yeah, I'll get around to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, in pieces.
Yeah.
You do it in pieces. Like I'm at the 15:52 time stamp right now. So I'll fast forward to 15:52 and watch another 15 minutes.
Yeah, bit by bit. Like
Yeah.
Mike sent us a really great Jocko podcast yesterday about performance evaluations. Great content, but there's like a 30-minute chunk in the middle where he's basically just reading off government paperwork. So I had to pause, and I'm gonna come back to it.
God damn, I love me some Donahar DVDs, but holy shit. Did you watch the armbar one?
I haven't now.
Dude, it's 4 hours on the top lock.
All right.
And I've gone through it 2 or 3 times now, And I mean, like, he's thorough. He's so thorough. But yeah, you have to do it in chunks.
Yeah, that's fair.
So so after you left Marcelo's, then you moved back to Colorado.
Correct.
Okay. It's because of all the reasons you said.
Yeah.
And then what made you find Easton?
So it was really funny. I came back and I'm like, I'm going to try a class everywhere. I want to check everyone out. Obviously, your reputation precedes you. I took one noon class with John Boyle and basically just threw my American Express at him and did a 6-month paid in full.
JB John Boyle. Hell yeah. Killed it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Killed it. He was the god of morning and noon.
Oh yeah.
So done. Didn't go anywhere else.
Nowhere else.
What did it?
Boy, for a long time, jiu-jitsu, it had ceased to be fun for me, right? Because it had no longer become like a process-oriented thing, right? It was all about goals and competition.
Getting promoted.
Yeah, and I wasn't getting either one of those rewards that I was looking for, right? And I took his noon class, and it was fun. I smiled. I laughed.
Because like he told jokes, or he just how he reacted with everyone? What was it?
So it was the interaction with the students. It was, he has a great sense of humor, but it was also like when he's on that mat teaching, like there is a real sense of joy that comes out of him, and you can't help but take part in that, And it was like the first time that it was like I enjoyed taking a class.
What belt was he at the time?
He was a purple.
So he wasn't a black belt?
No.
He wasn't Marcelo Garcia?
No.
He wasn't Chim Chim?
Nope.
Not Josh Griffiths?
Not Josh Griffiths.
And not to knock any of those guys?
No.
So there's no way he could probably even teach you as good a technique as any of those guys?
Probably not.
Because he was a purple belt?
Yeah.
And he's not a 4-time ADCC champ?
No, he's not.
All right. Never even been there?
No.
Huh. Interesting, right?
Yeah. I don't know if John's ever won an IBJJF match.
I don't think he has.
But he's one of the best teachers I've ever had.
I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he talked about that with my pops. His goal is to win an IBJJF match.
Yeah.
So he's never even won one.
Yeah.
But this purple belt, like, just boom.
Yeah.
Done.
It was just joyful. It was fun.
So where do you think you got this idea beforehand of that the other stuff was so important? Or was it you? Was it your ego?
It was my ego.
Or was it a little bit of both?
It was my ego, 100%. That like it had all just become about external gratification, you know?
The journey of jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And you weren't meeting that.
I was not.
But were you winning? Were you beating people up?
So I was winning, and then I stopped winning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's the worst.
It was tough.
So build. Ego. I'm the man.
Yeah. Let's just hit those brakes.
Hit those brakes, and then you start getting fucked up.
Smashed. And then you get in your head.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's not even really about your jiu-jitsu anymore. It's just become about conquering your own inner nonsense.
Oh, no, Jeffrey. You had a hard path.
I did. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, well, you couldn't choose that. You have no fucking choice.
Yeah. Well, that's very true. You can't just hit the rewind, you know?
God, I got cancer right now. I wouldn't have it any other way. Well,
that's good because you can't.
That's good because you got it. You know, so, God, so do you, God, so many places we can go here with this. Do you think the culture of the schools, like, I mean, what were the schools like? Were they very like competition driven that you were going to like what was that? I'm not, again, we're not knocking those schools, but a lot of schools are highly like, okay, if A beats B, then A gets promoted.
Correct. And for Carmine, it was all about fighting and MMA.
Okay.
And that was a place I did not belong. Right. And I was participating because, like, again, I wanted to play the game.
You have 10 MMA fights, right?
6.
6.
Yeah.
You did not want to fight MMA, but you got sucked into it.
I was, I don't want to say pressured, but it was just the culture, right? And you want to go along with the culture. You want to be part of the team, and right, you have goals that you're trying to meet, and so you see it as a means of achieving.
This
your goals.
is the way to get to my goal.
Yeah, and I had no business being out there. I would do everything in my power to not participate in striking, you know, and then you get out there and just,
oh God, you were the worst, dude.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah,
just absolutely terrible. Just no business being out there.
I feel very similar for me though. I feel like I had no business being out there either, and I was out there.
Well, you took it a lot farther for someone, you know, than I did. Not really
I still had no business
out
though.
there.
I just wanted to follow Jay.
Yeah, I get that.
Like for us, Jay was the standard of what it was, you know.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to follow him and fuck. Yeah. I mean, it worked. I got a little luckier than you, maybe, let's say.
I don't know about luck, you know?
Yeah. Luck a little bit. I got, you know, we'll just keep it there. You were doing it as a blue belt.
Yep.
So you weren't very good at jiu-jitsu.
No, not really.
So you could still get beat up easily by a white belt. Like on a bad day.
Correct.
No white belt was beating me up by the time I started fighting.
Right.
Like I was a brown belt.
Yeah.
And I was a good brown belt.
Yeah.
So there's no white belt that was going to come in and fuck me up.
Right.
So I could always win in the grappling area.
Sure.
Where you didn't have that.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A little luck, a little this, a timing, things like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, oh God. So you were trying to do that through MMA. So then you left Carmine.
Yeah.
Probably because you didn't want to fight MMA.
I think in retrospect it has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Right. And okay. And how about the other competition? Like, so when you went to Chim Chin, you went to MG, were you still trying to compete a lot?
I think when I was training up in the Bronx, I competed a little bit. But the culture there wasn't really about that. It was like, hey, if that's what you want to do, we can do that.
Did he spray you in the eyes with the fuck?
I was not. I did not
day?
participate in the pepper spray incident.
Yeah, my boy Chim Chim's crazy, bro.
But I mean, that's his whole ethos.
You don't want
right?
to touch that.
That's his whole ethos. He's just about like creating hard human beings.
Fuck yeah, he is.
You know.
Yeah.
And he does it well. Like there are a lot of really insanely tough dudes up at that school.
Yeah, well, he makes them get choked to sleep and spray with pepper spray.
Yeah, I'd like to hope that toughens you up.
Yeah, I would like to hope at some point you get. Maybe I should do that to like. Maybe all of our soft 20-year-olds. Maybe we should do that too, right? Like,
let's just call the lawyer first.
What's that?
Maybe we should call the lawyer first.
They sign the waiver. So anyway, so that wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And then you're out here in Colorado, and Boyle changes your life.
Correct. It just the culture was amazing, and I think, you know, obviously my jumping around had a lot to do with like my struggle with my own ego, but I also think that I was looking for the right place for me, you know, and I hadn't really found it. Like I loved Marcelo's, and if we had stayed in New York, like I definitely wouldn't have left.
Everyone loves Marcelo's.
Yeah, the place is
From
great.
what I hear, everyone loves Marcelo's.
I definitely would not have left. But then, you know, I came to Easton and I was like, oh my God, like this is definitely the place I've always been looking for. The jiu-jitsu is incredibly high level, right? To the point where it like definitely made me feel like very self-conscious about my own skills. But the people, man, everyone was so welcoming, so cool, so eager to help, so ready to share information.
And what year was this?
Technique. 2012. So you had just
got there. Yeah.
You had just opened the new school.
So this was Larry still, not even Ian yet.
Ian had not come in yet. Yeah.
So
Larry,
this is before we even knew what the fuck we were doing.
You want to have a great Larry story?
Yeah.
So my first advanced
Larry, I love
class,
you. Larry King is the fucking man.
my first advanced class, right? And blue belt, new to the school. Obviously, you want people to think you're good, right? Mm-hmm. So I probably just went at Larry way too hard, and he kind of lets me tire myself out, sweeps me, passes my guard, mounts me, looks down and smiles at me, opens his jacket and just lays his hairy belly right on my face until I tap.
Oh shit! Fuck yeah! So I had slightly this experience this weekend on the giving end.
Sure.
I was training, and this purple belt. I asked him if he wants to roll. It's my size. And he's like, "Yeah, it's our first round." And he's like, "I haven't trained in 3 years." I'm like, "Okay, cool. We'll just go nice and easy." And then he proceeds to try to rip my fucking head off. Like he's just going.
Yeah.
Just going. And I'm like handling, still trying to like warm myself up. And then finally I'm like, man, I am not going to be able to warm up like this because I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah.
So I like, boom, pass, get side control, get everything I want, pull tight. And I'm like, hey, we can go easier if you want. And he looks at me and he goes, man, I would really like it if you went easier. I was like, I was like, you need to go easier. I was like, I was going easy. You need to go easier, and then I won't do what I just did in the last 10 seconds. Okay? Stop doing that to me. Like, we're just warming up. He goes, okay. And then like we like he basically does nothing for the rest of the round. And then 2 rounds later, he's vomiting in the trash can. So like he was just gone.
We saw it all. We hit the whole spectrum.
It was just gone. So very similar, Dude, Larry's top is ridiculous.
Oh my God, it's so heavy.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Yeah.
And then the hair doesn't help.
It does not.
It does not fucking help.
It's worked up a good lather,
Yeah, it's a little sweaty. It's not fun. Oh, so that was a good Larry King. So we had just opened then. So you never experienced the favela.
I'd never stepped foot in the favela.
The favela, for everyone that doesn't know, is we used to have this the old Denver schools on 3rd and Broadway. It was a shithole. I mean, it was just a shithole. Shitty mat, shitty everything. Locker room could barely fit 10 people, but it was we call it the favela. So, but we moved from the favela. So I don't know if it's a penthouse yet. I think AOJ is probably a penthouse.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but we moved. So you got John Boyle in the new school.
Correct.
And then, so how long did you train? Like when did you train before somehow, I don't know, who caught wind of you to start teaching? Was it me? Was it Ian? Was it like what happened? And I'm literally like, you and I are great friends.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been friends since 2013, 14 probably. Yeah. So 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
And I don't know this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what made you start.
So my recollection was at some point, someone pulled me aside and was like, hey, I really think you should start taking the advanced classes at night. And then I was taking the advanced classes a little bit, but mostly training at noon. And I had to have my knee scoped, so I was away. I don't know.
This is not the ACL.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a quick cleanup on a meniscus.
Right.
I think I was gone 6 weeks.
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, no.
It's so stupid. Both of mine are torn right now.
Yeah. Well, you just keep going back
keep
to
doing,
the well.
Yeah. It's the greatest surgery ever for doctors.
Yeah, it's great.
That and tit jobs.
Yeah, he's in there for 20 minutes, and he knows he's going to see you again in 3 years.
Exactly, right? Same thing with boobs, right? And these aren't going to last for so long, and she's going to want more.
So I came back from having my knee scoped, and Ian was the new general manager. So I just introduced myself. I was like, hey, welcome to the Denver Academy. I've heard so many amazing things about your jiu-jitsu. Because him and Mike were very legendary in the Easton community. just about.
What was their legend?
They're just really good, like people would talk about how amazingly good their jiu-jitsu was.
No, nobody could pass Ian's guard.
Yeah, no one could pass Ian's guard, and Mike might eat your face.
Mike might eat your face. Mike might pick you up, fucking swing you around like
Yeah.
the fucking Hulk and throw you back down.
Yeah. So I started taking his advanced classes, and Amy Fidelis wasn't really able to make it, like the way her work schedule had worked out at the time. I think she had to be in super early, so staying for the night class wasn't working. So in the afternoons, we would drill together, and I would just like do my best to articulate to her like what we had gone over in the advanced class the night before. And like Ian saw it and pulled me aside.
Are you a blue belt still? Or
I was still a blue belt.
Okay.
Still a blue belt. He was like, hey man, I'd love it if you would start teaching intros for me. I did intros for a few months, and then Junior went to Brazil for an extended period of time. And I taught his classes while he was away. And then at the end of that, you guys gave me noon classes.
Because Boyle left.
Boyle had left and Peter was teaching, but you kind of felt like maybe you needed to split that class because there were a lot of blue and purple belts in the noon program. And you needed a fundamentals class, but you also needed something to like let.
Oh, that's right. You guys were teaching at the same time
for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you put us on opposite days.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So that was your in.
Yeah.
Your in was helping somebody.
Correct.
So you're in like literally just like, okay, I'm going to teach Amy, and then you just like get on the radar.
Correct.
You just get on the radar somehow. This is such a key concept that I think people just miss sometimes is because I get asked a lot, what is it that I can do, professor, coach, whether it be MMA, Eliot, whoever it is, what can I do to move up? And my answer is like, look, at first, just don't let me walk in here without seeing you. Like just be in my face all the time. So every time I walk, you don't have to talk to me. But every time I walk in, like, you don't have to be like, hey, I'm here. You're not checking in. But, hey, God damn it. There he is again. Oh, there he is again. Yep, he's still here. And he's here again. Mm-hmm. And, hey, Ian, are we paying that guy? No, we're not. Okay. Maybe we should start paying him because it's like, he obviously really wants to be here. It's been 6 months. I see him every day. Like this idea is so important.
Yes.
It's so important.
Be around and be ready to say yes.
To everything.
Everything.
Even if it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, because that was, people, I think if there's one thing I can point to that got me to like the position I'm in now is I said yes to everything. You want to help with kids? Yes. You want to teach at 7:30 p.m.? Yes. You want to teach a noon class at the same time that someone else is teaching a noon class? Yes. You want to cover? Yes.
Yes. If it's what you want.
Yeah.
You know, like I talked to Mark Vetri about this. You know who Vetri is?
Yeah, I know Mark.
Yeah. You were there.
Yeah, I've taught noon class to Mark.
Yeah, you were there for the phenomenal dinner. Oh, so good, right?
Yeah,
so good. Were you there for the phenomenal? Yeah, you were. No,
he didn't come to Vegas.
You were gonna go to Vegas. That's why I was Corey. All right. By the way, Valor, don't ever bother asking Valor to go places for food. He doesn't like food, right? Like for all of you watching, like don't try to arrange food around Valor because he eats like a bite and then says it's delicious. And you're like, dude, you don't know that's delicious. You had a half a bite.
I appreciate your manners.
Yeah. So anyway, Vetri, I was talking to Vetri about this and he said it's kind of a sad thing in the restaurant industry. He's like, I never went to culinary school. And so the way I got good was literally I just showed up at the kitchen the second it opened and I worked for free. I just worked for free. They were like, oh, we need this cut. All right, I'll cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, we need, and then eventually they give you some shitty job. He's like, unfortunately in the restaurant industry, it's not allowed anymore because taking advantage of employees, of workers, right? So, and I get it. This is all very important, but man, do it for free. Be like, look, I don't care what it takes. Give me whatever. Oh, you need the mop mat? You need the mops mat? Why can't I say this?
I'm not sure.
The mat's mopped?
There it is.
Too much coffee. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
What do you need?
I'll do it. So important.
Yeah.
So that's how you got in.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what happened? Now you're GM.
I am the general manager of the Arvada location.
General manager of the Arvada location. Did you move up more after that, or was it always noon class?
So I was noon class. I was teaching fundamentals, and then
At night?
At night, and then I kind of became the go-to sub for your intermediate classes and Ian's advanced ski classes.
I always have that.
Yeah.
This is my thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, who am I calling? Because I don't let anybody teach my classes.
Well, it has to be someone who goes to your classes.
Yes. So there's a specific list of people that I'll call, and
Yeah.
after that, I'm like, hey, Ian, none of these people can do it. Can you find somebody?
Yeah.
You know. And so, yeah. So okay. So you became the super sub.
Yeah, and then you asked me to move my personal training business into the academy, which made it very easy for me to just be there.
I asked
all
you to
day
do
long.
that?
You did.
Damn.
Yeah, you asked me to do that.
Dude, this is crazy. I don't remember any of this. I remember you moving it into the academy.
Yeah.
Why did I ask you to do that?
I mean,
Because you were working at another place.
I was working at another place.
Yeah, and I didn't like that probably.
Probably, but also, I mean, there was a decent amount of monthly billings that were gonna, hit the academy too.
Yeah. No, I think that might have been just some bullshit I said.
Oh, okay.
Because I just didn't like. Well, because you were keeping all of it, right?
Yeah. It was all
It
went
was
in
all-
my pocket. Yeah.
So I wasn't looking at selling. So the only reason I would care about the monthly billing was for a revenue thing.
Yeah.
Like to set if I was thinking about
Well,
selling.
no, we had a split.
Right,
You know,
okay.
because I had to pay rent at my other place, so it wasn't like I kept 100%. And then you came in and we just went to like a more traditional split, like
Right.
you would in corporate fitness.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I want to say mostly it's because I wanted you in there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just were in my face all the time.
Yeah.
So then you have to find ways to get the person in your face more once you're like, okay, this person can really do it.
Yeah.
Let's so then you were doing that. So I remember I would work out at the same time.
Correct.
When you had all the people back there working out.
Yeah.
Me and Gwen, and who else was it? There was somebody else that worked out with us. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you moved your personal training business, and then you left that, right? And you had just dropped a pretty penny, right? Like you went to MAT school
Correct.
and all of that, right?
Correct.
Like, and that's not cheap. What is that? Like 20 grand, 15 grand?
It was like 12.
Okay,
I think
12
all
grand.
told, I spent about 12,000.
So you would
on
have liked to have seen that back.
I made my money back.
Oh, you did?
I made my money back
Oh, okay.
pretty quickly. Yeah, because I was able to take my hourly rate significantly higher
Okay.
after finishing my MAT.
Okay.
So I made my investment back pretty quickly. And I had my ACL done twice in 2016. And after that second surgery, you have the moment where you sort of have to ask yourself, like, boy, is it time to think about what's next? And I remember having like a very tearful conversation in Ian's office, kind of, along the lines of, what am I going to do?
Like with my life.
Yeah, like at this point, I've invested the last 5 years, day in, day out, to jiu-jitsu. And, pretty early on in the recovery process from that second ACL surgery, you don't know what the future is going to hold. And Ian just kind of told me, hey, man, everything's going to be okay. And about 2 weeks later, you gave me a call and let me know that you guys had purchased the Arvada location, and you were wondering if I'd be interested in the general manager's position.
Word. So it worked out.
It did.
That was a tough gig, though.
It was.
That's not an easy gig, right? Because we had nothing to do with Arvada.
Correct.
So we'll get into this here, right? Like we purchased a school from Nick and Chris Klein, and they were doing their own, like they were Easton, but not like all the way Easton. Love those guys. But
amazing black belts,
amazing.
great human beings. But yeah, they definitely had their own systems,
Right.
their own processes.
I don't even think they followed the curriculum, right?
No, they had their own curriculum.
Right. So, and it wasn't like a failing school.
No, I think there's probably 150 students.
Yeah, I think the profit was like $50,000 a year,
Yeah,
$50,000 to $60,000 a year. So I mean, like that.
It was profitable.
It's profitable. It's a profitable school. I think most schools might do a little more, like 60 grand a year. If there was one of them, that would probably cut it. After paying, because you always pay yourself, and then
Correct.
what the profit is, right? So that's probably like 80 grand to one person.
Yeah.
80 to 90 grand. So yeah, if that was one person, they'd be doing fine. Like most, right? Like, so, but they wanted out, and we came in, we had you take over. And what was that experience like? The switching a culture, getting everyone to buy into you. Like there's so much we can go into here. Like what what did you do?
Well, I'd say the first thing I did was kind of replicate what had gotten me to that point. Was I was just there all the time, ready to talk, ready to let people get to know me, because they're used to what they're used to. There was like a very
People hate change.
comfortable small club feel. It was very casual. It was very relaxed. And we were trying to institute a lot of the systems, that we've found to be successful.
Families and older adults, right? Like you don't have many 20-year-olds, do you?
Very few.
No killers. I mean, you might make some killers. I'm not saying that, but no, like
it's a very family-oriented
academy.
Correct.
Yes.
And so like I think their big worry was that we wanted to turn this into the Denver Academy, which is that's a tough room.
That's a tough room.
That is a tough room.
It's a tough room.
Full of
and I'm tough.
young people who are very dedicated to jiu-jitsu. A lot of people that are serious about being competitors or fighters. I had to just let them know, like, hey, we want Arvada to be Arvada.
Right.
Like, there are things that we think could be done differently, and it's not to say that what you guys were doing is wrong. It's just we've found this to be successful.
They saw that you were coming from Denver and how intense Denver can be.
Correct.
Especially on the front end. Because
Correct.
Denver's we're pretty soft, actually, I believe.
I think
like
so.
our community is very nurturing and tight. But I could see that, right? You come in, there's 50 people in a class.
Yeah.
And 30 of them are murderers.
Correct.
Right? 30, like you... I'm sure sometimes people might have to, I'm just assuming now because you said that people might have to get themselves psyched up a little bit to come to Denver at 7:00 at night.
I know. I certainly did it first.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's interesting. Because I used to have to do that when I was fighting. Like when I went to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Shark Tank. All right, fuck, all right, circles. Here we go. All right, I can do this. And I'd have to I'd be up all fucking night. So I'm sure maybe they're not up all night, but I'm sure it takes some work.
Yeah, I think if you're a guy who is a little bit newer to jiu-jitsu and you're sitting,
Just got your blue belt.
Yeah, just got your blue belt. You're sitting at your desk at work, and you're walking into the Lion's Den at 7 p.m. tonight. I'm sure there are a lot of people who at first have to take themselves to a specific place psychologically before going into that advanced class.
So Arvada could have been very scared that one of the teachers from Denver is going to come to Arvada and try to do that there.
Correct.
And we don't want that at all.
No, not at all. I mean, we wanted to institute our curriculum, because we want a replicatable product from academy to academy to academy, right? We want consistency. We want predictability. So we're going to teach the same stuff that everyone else is teaching. We want a schedule that a little bit more closely mirrors what's going on Denver Boulder Centennial, right? Fundamentals, intermediate, advanced. So you're able to...
Because at that time you guys were Arvada was going to be the fourth school of centrally owned by me and Amal, basically.
Correct. We wanted to have a more clearly defined sales funnel, process for taking someone from calling in with an interest, right, to being a member. But we weren't looking to turn Arvada into Denver, because Arvada is never going to be Denver. Arvada should be Arvada. It's been open for 10 years. It has a culture. There were there was a very large group of purple and brown belts there. They didn't have any black belts at that point, but they had a lot of purple and brown belts, and we weren't looking to change who's in the school and who those people are, and you know what I mean?
You're not looking to change the culture.
Correct.
We know what the culture is.
Yes.
Right? We know, but we're looking to better it, not change it.
Correct.
We're looking to improve it, not flip it on its head.
Exactly. It was less about community and just more about some of the business systems.
Right. Yeah. The community was strong, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's a lot of problems that happen when people come and buy a new school.
Right.
Is they're okay, they come in and hammered down like this.
Right.
Like, look, I have this successful school over here, and I am going to do it like this. And they start to worry about the systems, and they stop worrying about the people.
Correct.
Right. And we know, like, I mean, is this the fifth podcast? Fifth podcast? People first. It's always people first.
It has to be about the people.
Yeah, because if you make it not about the people, then, and if you make it about the money, if you make it about the systems, if you make it about this or that or whatever, everyone eventually is going to feel that.
Correct. And it wasn't. That's not to say that it wasn't a challenge, right?
Because you still have to do that stuff.
You still have to do the stuff, and to a certain extent, for a little while, I was very much an outsider.
Right.
It took time to build trust with those people. And so sometimes it became easier to be about the systems, the business, the metrics, especially when you're not gaining the traction with the people in a way, because you have an idea in your mind of how you want it to work out, and it doesn't necessarily always go that way. It's going to take some time.
Bro, when I went to Denver, I think like the second night that I'm in Denver at the favela, I go in, I'm teaching, I tell this joke that I think is funny, and no one really knows me yet, right? and crickets, fucking crickets. And I'm like, fuck, it's not good. And, like I was like, no, why did you guys not laugh at that? Because they weren't comfortable with me.
Right.
And sometimes you want to take the same way you were in Denver, let's say for you,
sure,
and you want to take that to Arvada because it worked with everyone in Denver, and fuck, it just doesn't. It's not there yet.
Well, there was a wonderful piece of advice you gave me before I started, which was, don't get too comfortable too quickly. Like, it will be easy to slip into the way that you behave and interacted with people that you've been teaching for years. Give it some time, right? You need to let them get comfortable with you. You need to let them get to know you. Don't kick your shoes off and put your feet up on the table right away, because you won't necessarily know how that will be received.
They will. I think it's because they will respect you, but they might not buy into you.
Correct.
They might not love you.
Correct.
Because they're being like, they're a little bit being told to respect you. They're like, okay, here it is. This is the guy. He's here. Respect him. And just like even harder.
It was, yeah.
Just remember that.
Yeah, it was not a black belt
yet.
yet.
We are assholes.
And I wasn't.
Oh, God, at least if we would have given you a black belt.
And I wasn't physically able to train yet. So I wasn't able to bridge the gap that way either.
Jeffrey, we fucked you.
Well, I mean, I can't say that it didn't work out.
Right.
I think having done it this way really forced me to address some of the shortcomings that I have as a human being. Right? Because I had to do this like purely on the basis of human relationship. It couldn't be about my jiu-jitsu because they didn't actually know how good I was.
When could you train?
See, I took over in February. By like May to June, I was kind of able to lay in the bottom of side control and paw away at people,
So you just had to get beat up still.
Yeah. It's like a lot of, framing and using your top leg as a butterfly hook.
Because what does it for us, what does it for almost everyone, is to go in, feel the person's jiu-jitsu, and then you get almost immediate more buy-in.
Well, there's just that level of physical connection, too. Like, it bonds you to a person in a way that many other things, I don't know anything else that does it better.
If I have to have a hard conversation, I call someone to train
always
first.
Train first. Yeah, always train first. Always.
Train and beat each other up. They beat you up, you beat them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Go over some stuff and then be like, fuck, man, that's great, man. And then into it.
Correct.
Yeah, but you made it. You figured it out.
I figured it out.
Human connections.
So,
but harder.
Much harder.
Because you have to break down the ego first.
Correct.
And the reason that we like to train first is because the training crushes the ego, yours and mine. Like, so if you and I are going to train, like the physicality of everything, the intense working out, the choking each other, and then this and then that, it breaks both people's egos down.
Correct.
I now, even if you're the top dog and you're beating me up, you still have to take care of me in a way.
Correct.
Right? Please don't take this training first thing as a dominance thing.
No.
It's not a dominance thing. It's not I beat your ass and then you listen to me.
Yeah.
It's you can feel that I'm caring for you.
Correct.
So the training has to be done in a very specific way.
Yes. Yeah, you don't go in and just smash someone and just put them in a deep, dark hole of despair
You don't mount them,
and fragile
open
ego.
your gi and take your sweaty chest hair and put it down on their face and then be like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
So, man, you had it even rougher than I remember. So not only were you not a black belt,
Correct.
That just gives instant street cred.
Correct.
And then you also couldn't even do the task that we were asking you to do, like the actual art.
Correct.
So you had to do it like people in an office building.
When I first started teaching there, I had to teach with 2 ukes.
Damn, man. Hell yeah, good work.
Thank you.
Good work. How'd you break your ego? Because you said you still had to work on you. Right, that must have been hard. Like you said, you came in with all these problems of yourself still sometimes, a little bit anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're all works in progress, and we all have our fears and insecurities and blind spots.
I'm perfect.
And pretty quickly after taking that job, my wife was pregnant at the time too.
Oh God.
So I just started therapy. Honestly, I just started going to therapy when I took the job. Mike gave me a lot of great books to read. I started the therapeutic process.
Are you hearing this? So he can't train, right? He has no black belt, and he has a first-time pregnant wife.
Correct. Baby on the way. Baby number one on the way.
Oh my God. Therapy.
A lot of it. A lot of it.
A lot of it. Did we have to pay for it, or did you pay for it?
No, I paid for it myself.
Sick. All right.
I paid for it myself.
I think we probably owe you more. Talk to HR.
Cool. That's you, right?
No. No. It's not me, and it's not Mike.
Correct.
I think we hired somebody.
That's right.
Yeah, we have an HR person. Once we hired the person, I don't hear about anything. Unless it's really major.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't even know if we've used her yet.
Hopefully not.
Do you know?
I don't think we have.
Oh, fuck yeah, even better. So a lot of therapy, a lot of inner self work.
Correct. And it's still, it's an ongoing process.
You don't have it figured out yet?
No, of course not.
Me either.
Yeah.
When you think you will?
No, never.
No. Just keep working.
It's just like jujitsu.
Yeah, just like jiu-jitsu, just like the school, right?
Yeah, you just keep working. You're going to have problems pop back up. You're going to have new problems come up that you didn't even know about, and you do the work.
That's one of the most important things to not get frustrated with is when the same problem like rears its head in another way.
Yeah.
It happens in our life and it happens in our work.
Yeah.
Right? Like you think you have this thing in the school figured out.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I handled this.
Yeah.
And the thing is maybe it could have just been the person that you put in place to do it.
Right.
And they were so amazing they were amazing.
Yes.
And then you move them up and the next person comes in and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, when we first were in there, we weren't seeing the kind of numbers in the striking program that we were looking for.
Right.
Matt Bloss went away to Thailand, came back a new Matt Bloss, just ready to go, blew that program up, was basically teaching all the classes, which...
you find an amazing instructor, you put them in, program grows.
Exactly. But it can be problematic, right? People get injured, people get hurt, people need to go on vacation, people get promoted. And if any of these things happen and you have, the entire program on one person, it can be a problem. So Matt Bloss came back ready to bring people up underneath him, was doing a phenomenal job. We thought we probably had another year or so of runway to continue doing what we were doing. And then the job in Boulder came up. And
the GM job in Boulder.
Exactly. The GM job in Boulder came up. Matt Bloss was the clear choice. And so now we start from scratch and we're right back to working on building up the striking program.
Yeah. It's right. So your striking program didn't get better. You had Matt Bloss. He got better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Literally the minute he got back from Thailand, it was like that guy just was on a rocket ship to success.
Good, yeah. I remember when I met with him. I never really talked to him before. And he came over and we talked and I was like, all right, yeah, this guy can do it.
Yeah.
And what made me know that he could do it was he was like, anything you would like me to do? And I was like, yeah, read this book. And I just tell people to read books. I just want to see if they'll do it.
Yeah.
And he was done in a week. Like he texted me some stuff from the book in a week. I was like, oh fuck yeah. I was like, he did it. Like he really wants it.
Absolutely.
So,
and he didn't need it. Like Matt's a massively talented human being.
Right. He's
a model. He's a DJ. You know, he had a number of...
He's a model?
Yeah.
Is he still model?
No.
Okay, good.
Right? Like he has any number of things that he could be very, very good at to support himself. He chose this and he decided that this is what he wanted to be good at.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
A model and I think I knew the DJ thing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So what's that like for you right now, trying to figure out that striking program?
We're just really committed to the process of building up bench strength, you know, just identifying as many people as possible who want to teach, right? Because you have to want to do it. It can't be something that someone's like, hey, you need to do this. And that are willing to put in the work.
Right. Yeah. Can I give you some advice maybe?
Absolutely.
So the way sometimes that we are doing it in Denver for sure, you know, that's where I'm at the most and have the most influence on, I would say, is you can't move up in your job until there's somebody that can take your place.
Correct.
That's better than you.
Yep.
Right. So, and I know this was a sticky situation with Matt Bloss, right? Like where, okay, we needed a GM and here it is.
Yeah.
But like, all right, man, great. I don't have anybody else that can teach. You teach too good of an intro class. I can't let you go. And maybe you know this already. And I don't need to give you this advice, but it's good for the podcast.
It's great advice.
You know, like I can't let you move up to teaching noon class until there's somebody else that teaches a better intro class than you. But I can't go down on intro classes. I can't lose that. Oh, you want to be the head instructor? Well, man, someone's got to teach the noon class better than you. Like, right? Like, and then just all the way up the line. Someone's got to be able to take, if you want to move up, someone's got to take your place and do your job better.
Well, 100%, right? Because that's how I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that process, right? Of Ian seeing me fumbling my way through his advanced curriculum,
right?
You know, and saying, hey, I'd like for you to do this.
Right.
He taught me how to teach intro classes, you know? Peter helped teach me how to teach a great noon fundamentals class, right? You taught me how to teach a high-paced, vibrant, energetic, no-gi intermediate class. And
right.
I got to move step by step by step by step. But yeah, it has to start at the bottom. And
now you have to, now you're in the position of making people better. You know, so you have but that's also good practice for anybody that does want to move up. If you want to have a managerial role in a place, right? Like it's not because you teach a great noon class,
no,
right? Or it's not because you do a task well.
Yeah.
It's because you got somebody else to do the task well.
Correct.
Right? Like because now your time is free. Right? Your time is free to do something else. Okay, noon class is handled.
Yep.
Right? Noon class is handled. That's amazing. I'm going to work on this. Okay, so hold on. I don't want to work on this anymore. I need someone else to get really good at this. So you're always freeing your time so that you can do other great things. But you can't let that other thing fall off.
No, and as the manager, you have to be able to put your hands into every part of the business to do that, right? I was able to not teach morning classes anymore because JT Beowulf was always in my morning class.
In Arvada. Right.
And at some point, you know, I kind of peeled the curtains back for him.
I'm not getting up at 6:30 anymore.
Gave him a chance, and now, I mean, we have 100 to 110 people in our jiu-jitsu program, so not overwhelmingly large. We had 20 people in his morning class this morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? There you go. That's as big as any other school.
Yeah.
So that's the teacher.
Yep.
You know? If he wants to stop that class,
he's got to find somebody to do it better.
Yeah, he's got to find someone to do it better.
Yep.
You know? He's got to find another JT.
Yep.
That's just like in his class and in his class and in his class and knows exactly how it's done.
Yep.
And follows the culture and understands the people and blah, blah, and boom, boom. And then it's like, okay, JT, you can have more.
Yes.
Right? You can have more. You can give them more. You know, a lot of times people want more, but they don't understand what more really looks like.
No, you have to put the horse in front of the cart.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, Anna and Nick don't know that term? These young kids today. You know? These young kids today, they're like, huh?
They're very young.
They're very young.
I remember distinctly, my wife and I were like driving him home from somewhere, right? There's like some sort of event, and I kind of leaned over to her and I was like, biologically, he could be our kid. Like, I'm doing the math. It would work.
So the other day, I was teaching Anna how to parallel park.
Yeah.
And I can remember my dad screaming at me when I was learning how to drive in parallel park. So I wanted to put a little pressure on her. So it wasn't just me and her. So I FaceTimed my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, Dad, say hello to my oldest daughter that you haven't met yet.
Does this seem familiar to you?
You know, he's like, your oldest daughter. I'm like, yeah, it's Anna, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, they could easily be our kids.
Yeah.
But all right, man, I appreciate it. I hope you had fun.
I did. Thank you so much for having me.
Another episode of Easton.Online. People first.
People first.
I don't think there's anything else that. I mean, it's just we keep getting back to this. It's always the people in your business. Like the systems come and this comes and everything comes and goes. But if you have the people and if you treat the people well, right? Like really, really well. And it's not necessarily money, right? It's not necessarily money because that's not it. That's part of it. It's how they feel when they're around you.
Well, everyone has something different that they're going to need, and you have to be able to identify what that is.
That's a good point. You have to be able to identify what that person needs.
Yep.
This is my weak spot. I'm bad at this.
I'm working on it too.
Yeah, I just give heart. I just bring the fucking hammer. I got to get better at it. So anyway, that's a good point. I'm going to work on that, Jeff. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. Have a good day.